I'm going to show you exactly how I mastered the art of forex trading and how I went from $0 to over 500K in profit in as little as 9 months. But before we get into this video, I'm going to explain exactly who I am, why you should listen to me, and what you can get out this video. So for those of you that are new to this channel, I go by the name of FX Carlos. I am a supply and demand trader from California, and I documented my whole journey from start to finish. I think it's important that I tell you guys a little bit about my story so you guys can actually see that this is really possible and you can really do this too. So about 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with a rare condition, and it just flipped my life upside down. I was not able to do normal things that everyone else could do. The problem that I had is when I stood up, the blood would pool to my legs and I would instantly pass out. So I went to multiple doctors and specialists, and the end result was there was no cure for my condition. So after years went by of just being angry, depressed, not really even wanting to live anymore, I finally decided that I would not let this be the end of me. So after years of being angry and depressed, I found myself in a situation where I was beyond broke. I had a baby on the way and I had no way to feed or take care of this new precious blessing. So I woke up one morning and I said, enough is enough. No more making excuses. It's time to get shit done. So I started scouring the internet looking for different business models. I tried everything from drop shipping to wholesaling real estate, and nothing was working. Every business I started failed. So after 2 years, I was ready to give up, and then I came across forex trading. And this is the business that saved my life. I have been able to make over multiple six figures, and I changed my family's legacy forever. So now that you know a little bit about my story, I want to tell you guys exactly what you're going to be learning today. First things first, you're going to be learning a high income skill where there is no limits to how much money you could actually make. Now, every job in the workspace, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, you're in the military, there's always going to be a ceiling that you're going to hit. But when it comes to day trading, there is no ceiling you can hit. The more capital you put in, the more you can make. And it's just as simple as that. And the second thing you will learn is my exact strategy that I use to change my life and how I make thousands of dollars a day by just pushing one button. And last but not least, if you watch this video all the way to the end and take action, you will gain a life of freedom that you and your family deserve. So if that sounds like something you've been looking for, then let's get right into it. So the first step is you need to find a strategy. Now, when it comes to finding a strategy, you really want to take time and think about what type of trader are you. Now, there's three types of traders in this world. There's scalpers, intraday traders, and swing traders. Now, if you're a scalper, you're going to be entering these positions on a lower time frame, and you're going to get in and out the market, take your profits, and go on with your day. Now, if you're an intraday trader, you can be in a trade for a couple hours up to a day. And if you're a swing trader, you will look to be in trades for a couple of days up to a couple weeks. So it's up to you to choose what type of trader you would like to be. Now, me personally, I consider myself a scalper and an intraday trader because I will enter on the lower time frames, like the 5 minute. But if I'm looking to go for a higher risk to reward, let's say I want to risk $100 to make $1,000, then I will probably need to be in that trade a little bit longer until it hits my take profit. But for the most part, I'm going for 1 in 3, so I'm out the trade within an hour. Now, there is multiple trading strategies that can be applied to each one of these categories, but the top 3 ones are support and resistance trading, breakout trading, and supply and demand trading. Me personally, I am a supply and demand trader. In my opinion, supply and demand is the best strategy that you can use. I've tried every other strategy. I never had results like I do with supply and demand. And this is the strategy that changed my life. But before you pick the strategy that is perfect for you, we need to move on to step number 2, finding a mentor. Now, when it comes to finding a mentor, you need to find someone that is verified and someone that you can trust and someone that you can relate to. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I would look for if I was looking for a mentor right now. First things first, you need to verify that they're actually profitable. And the way you do this is when you're going through their YouTube channel, you want to make sure they have some live trading videos where you see them entering and exiting the trades. Second thing you want to look for is to see if they pass the FTMO challenge live. You might be asking yourself, why does it have to be a FTMO challenge? And that's because FTMO does not sponsor traders. So when someone passes their challenge, it cannot be manipulated. And if they're able to pass that challenge, phase 1 and phase 2, then you can almost guarantee that they are a profitable trader, because the rules that are set in place, you cannot pass this without being disciplined, without being profitable. That's one big thing that I would look for. And the last thing is you want to make sure you can relate to the mentor that you're learning from. You need a mentor that's going to be able to give you the information in a way that you can understand it. If you come from humble beginnings like myself and didn't go to school very much, it's going to be difficult to learn from someone who went to Harvard for 4 years. So if all these 3 things check out, I would be comfortable using them as my mentor. So once you find a mentor that has all of these qualities checked off, they're the same type of trader that you want to be, and they use the same strategy that you want to learn, you're on your way to success. So moving on to step 3, how to study the correct way. Now this is where I see a lot of beginner traders fail. They find the mentor, they find the strategy, they buy the course, they watch it one time, and then they say this doesn't work. I need you guys to realize that this skill will change your life. If everybody could just watch a course one time and be a professional, everybody would do it. This is going to take a lot of hard work and dedication. So once you buy that course, you need to rewatch this over and over and over again until you're sick at looking at your mentor. You need to take notes on every single video. I used to have notebooks and notebooks full of notes on just one course. Write down what don't you understand, what questions you have, and then rewatch it again 5 more times until you get the answers to those questions that you have. And then once you're done with that, watch it again another 3 times to make sure everything is right. You need to watch this and listen to it as much as possible to reprogram your brain into becoming a master trader. So once you feel like you can recite that course backwards, then it's time to move on to step number 4, which is backtesting and journaling. So backtesting is the way that you prove that your strategy works. So you take everything that you learn and you put it into the charts. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to go to tradingview.com. You're going to upgrade your plan to the premium version so you get access to replay mode. So you're going to replay the charts to a random time in history and put your strategy to the test. And as you're doing this, you're going to journal every trade, whether it's a win or a loss. You're going to write it down. You can write it in a notebook, your iPhone. Me personally, I use a website called Notion. It's free to sign up. You could take screenshots of your trades. You could put notes just to keep track of all your wins and losses. So after you backtest as far back as possible on multiple pairs, it's time to review your journal and move on to step number 5, creating a trading plan. Now, creating a trading plan is very important. This will make the difference between non-profitable traders and profitable traders. Now, inside of my supply and demand course, I give you my exact trading plan. But just in case your mentor doesn't have one, I'm gonna tell you exactly how to create one today. So look at the winning trades, look at the losing trades, see around what time it is when you're most likely to win a trade, when you're most likely to lose the trade. And this is how you determine what session you will be trading in. So the most 2 common trading sessions is New York session and London session. I wouldn't advise trading in Tokyo session. So once you see what session your trade seems to play out more in, then you add that to your trading plan as you will only trade New York session. So once you find out what time your trades are most likely to play out in, you're gonna write that on your trading plan. Step number 1, only trade during New York session or London session, whatever one applies to you. Second thing you want to look for, what pairs does your strategy work the best on? I would recommend having at least 3 pairs, no more than 5. So once you got that down, put that on your trading plan as well. Third thing you need to do, you need to see what days do you usually win and what days do you usually lose. And I don't hear nobody talking about this. This is something I figured out on my own. From back testing to live trading, I always journaled my trades for the first 3 years of my career. And I realized that Wednesdays and Fridays and Sundays are not trading days for me. Even though I can win on those days, I know I have more of a chance of losing on those days, so I cut them out and now my win rate shoots through the roof. And even though I still do lose, because that's impossible to get away from, it's not very often no more because I cut out the losing days. And I think you should too. Step number 4, what is the average risk to reward that you get with your strategy? Now, me personally, I get from a 1 in 3 to a 1 in 4 on average. Now, it could go to a 1 in 10, 1 in 20, but that's very rare. On average, I hit a 1 in 3, 1 in 4. So now I know once we get to that 1 in 3 or 1 in 4, I need to be ready to close if I see anything I don't like. I highly recommend having a strategy that at least goes for a 1 to 3, because you can lose 3 days in a row, but if you win on that 4th day, your account's back to break even. If you win that next day, now you're up 3%. So whatever is your average, you write that on your trading plan. I will get out at this risk to reward. Step number 5, how much much are you willing to risk on a trade? Now, most people say you want to risk 1 to 3%. Now, me personally, I think 3% is too much. I wouldn't do anything higher than 2%. But the way you find out what you want to risk is how many trades are you willing to take a day. Me personally, I only want to take 1 trade a day for 1%. If you want to take 2 trades a day, then you need to risk 0.5%. If you want to take 3 trades a day, you have to be risking 0.2%. Anything over 3 trades, you are being emotional and you are gambling. You need to get off the charts. And step number 6, you want to identify your entry candle. So I want you to go through all the trades that you have journaled and look at the entries. What candle formed when you entered a trade and you won? And also look at the candle that formed when you lost. So you'll know what trades to risk a little bit more and what trades to avoid. And that right there is your trading plan. And you're going to follow this trading plan no matter what. If you break that trading plan, you lost that day. It doesn't matter if you made profit, because the way you become consistently profitable is by following that trading plan no matter what. So now that you got your trading plan created, it's time to move on to step number 6, choosing your path. Now there's 2 roles that you can take into Forex. You can trade a live account or you can trade a prop firm account. Now if you're trading a live account, you put your own money in there. So let's say you have a live savings, or maybe you put a little bit from each one of your checks into a live account. Now the pros to having a live account is you can withdraw anytime that you want. Second thing is you don't have to split your profits with any funding company. And the third thing is there's no crazy rules that you need to follow. You can risk as much as you want. You can trade anytime you want. You hold it over the weekend. It's up to you. You can do whatever you want. Now, if you want to go the prop firm route, which I recommend. Now, if that sounds like something you would like to do, I suggest you open an account with CoinEx. Now, this is the broker that I use. Raw spreads and no KYC verification. Now, if you want to go the prop firm route, the pros and cons to that are you can be funded up to $1 million. All you got to do is pass a challenge and prove to them that you're a profitable trader. Now, this is great if you were in a position like me where you just didn't have a lot of money. But the con is that a lot of these prop firms are sketchy and they put rules in place that make it hard to pass. But if you are truly a profitable trader, you will be able to pass this with flying colors. So after you choose the path that you want to take, it's time for the last and final step, psychological warfare. Now, the psychology aspect of trading is the hardest part that you will have to get over. Everybody speaks about the strategy. Psychological part is the hardest part that you need to overcome. The strategy is the easiest part. When you're into a trade, you will have emotions that you were not expecting. The psychological aspect of Forex trading is the hardest part that nobody ever talks about. The person that you need to develop yourself into is going to be far from the person that you are watching this video. You need to be a person that's willing to take risks. You need to be a person of discipline, following your trading plan no matter what. And you need to become a person that would never give up regardless of what's happening. The emotions you're going to encounter when you enter a live trade will be like something you've never encountered before. The fear of failure, the anxiety that kicks in, is something that will take a very long time to get used to. I'm going to be making a whole video dedicated to this because it's that serious. So make sure you guys subscribe right now because you do not want to miss that video. So if you take action on the steps that I have given you today, you will be on your way to being a profitable Forex trader. But I want you guys to know this will be the hardest and the best thing that you will ever do for you and your family. If you figure this skill out, your whole life will change forever. So I hope this video helped you guys out. I believe in you. Now it's time to get to work.